What's up, guys? Ricky here with another review on the DC Multiverse Deathstorm from Blackest Night. And let's look at this real quick. So, love the details. Here we go. Look at this face. So, one, the skull texture looks really good, and it looks like they did a gray with a black wash. It looks like a gray wash kind of over the top just to fill in the details, which look really good. And I love that translucent, like purplish, blackish flame. I think that's awesome. Then you got a really cool logo there on the side, got some cool silver paint, and what I really like is all the textures throughout the entire outfit. I think it looks really good. Okay, look at that. Okay, we got some good details, good muscle definition. I love that. Kind of going throughout. Looks like it comes with a stand. This is the Atrocitus Build-A-Figure, so you can see the Atrocitus face here, which looks really good too, actually. So really good details. And like I said, some of the opportunities with some of the McFarlane figures has been the paint application, but with this one, I'm glad to see like them using black wash and some dry brushing techniques. With this one, they definitely did a black wash over the red to make the details pop, and I love those teeth. They really kind of stick out there, which looks cool. Also comes with the shoulder pads, and looks like a lantern as well. Okay, so that's it in the front of the package. You have the side of the package. You have the back of the package, and this is the Atrocitus Build-A-Figure. This is number 2 on the list, and those are the other 4 you have to collect to build Atrocitus, and there is Atrocitus right there. And then here's the side of the package, so Deathstorm, and then you have the Blackest Night logo there, which is pretty cool. And in my opinion, I think this is kind of the standout so far from the bunch, but we'll open it up and we'll see what we are looking at. Okay, here's Deathstorm out of the package, and this figure looks amazing. So we already highlighted the details on the face, right? They had the gray, and then they light dry brushed over the lighter gray on top of it. We have the really cool kind of purplish, blackish flames, which look good. Here's the texture details we did not see in the package on the back, which looks really, really good. Almost kind of reminds me of kind of like a Spawn suit, which I think is kind of neat, because I know some of the Spawn textures look like that. But let's see, he came with the lantern there, Atrocitus's head, which I put in his hands, which I think is pretty sweet, but I doubt if that actually ever happens. We also have shoulder pads for Atrocitus. And like I said in some of the previous reviews, adding a black wash to this will really show off those details a lot, and I think look a lot better. And Deathstorm also came with a character card with some really cool artwork there. I'm loving it. I think they did a great job at bringing that character to life in figure form. Now here's the back, and this is the data file, so if you want to read it, you can pause your screen now. And there we go. So I think the only thing this figure could potentially benefit from out of the package would be, after it turns around, is that there's a little blue emblem on his chest, which I think we could add a little black wash to, because it has a few extra details there. You can see just right around there, right? It's a circle kind of with a little shape around it. If you had a black wash, I think that'll just look a little better. But overall, it looks good. So let's get into the articulation and see what we're working with. So you have the head, moves up about that high, so not too high. Looks down pretty good. You have a good kind of head pivot there. Some good rotation, so not bad. Rotation's a little stiff, but not bad. Then you have shoulder articulation, goes up about that high. You have bicep swivel, so you get good rotation there. Double jointed elbows, so good poses. You got some wrist articulation, which is really nice. Now you do have an ab crunch, so it moves back about that far. Can crunch forward about this far, so not bad. You have leg articulation, you can go out like that, do the splits. Can go up about that high, so it does not go up too high because of the material here, unfortunately. You do have double jointed knees, and you do have ankle articulation and pivot as well, so you can get in some good dynamic poses. Okay, so here is the Atrocitus Build-A-Figure. So if you collect all 4 of the figures for Blackest Night, this is what you get to put together, and this figure is outstanding. So I want to just take you through the articulation. So first off, you look really close, you have the detail, which, before I get into that, like look, it's got red, really nice color red, and they have a black wash over the top, which looks so good. So that's the only thing I think this figure really needs, is a black wash throughout the rest of the pieces. So if the whole body looked like this, it would be a perfect figure. But yeah, you could definitely black wash these pieces, so highly recommend. But let's get into the articulation first. So looks up that high, so it doesn't look up too high. Looks down really low, which I think is awesome, because he's going to be towering over most of your figures. You do have a little bit of a side-to-side pivot, which is good. and then a good side to side. So the shoulder pads do just clip on, so nothing to worry about there. Really easy to attach. The arm joints are awesome. Now, one thing I do need to note, so they have the little shoulder pieces here from the McFarlane figures that, like I said, I like. Make sure they're in the right way. So what happened is this one went on easy. When I went to do this one, I could not get it on. I was like, what is going on? It was because this piece was in upside down. So even when I was trying to force it, like it actually could not go any further. So just FYI, if it's not going in, it should go in easy. Just check that to see if it's flipped the right way. So you got that. You do have good rotation there. You do have a bicep swivel. So good rotation there. You do have double jointed elbows, so that is sick. You do have wrist articulation. One thing to note too, if you do put the arms up high, right, the shoulder piece will come off. So just make sure it stays in there. You could probably only get it to a certain height before it kind of hinders that a little bit. You do have an ab crunch, so you can crunch that far. You can crunch up that far. So yeah, I've been super impressed with how far McFarlane toys can crunch backwards. Really crazy to me. You have really good side to side, which is really cool. Love that. Really good rotation there. Legs go up about that high. And man, that is one muscly leg. I love that. Okay. Man, he can do the splits more than any of the other figures. He's been working on his flexibility there, huh? Then you have double jointed knees, so get a really good poses there. You do have a little bit of a rotation too here, which is nice. And then you do have ankle, articulation, and pivot, so you can get some really good poses. So like I said, I just wanted to show you this. Just if you collect the whole thing, this is definitely a figure to, I mean, this is one of the best build figures. I absolutely love it. So this is what it looks like out of the package. So cool. Let's get into the size comparison. Okay, here's a size comparison of the Blackest Night Wave, and you can see Atrocitus stands taller than everyone. So it looks like Atrocitus stands, looks like about 9.5 inches tall, which is pretty sweet. So 9.5 inches tall. Or it looks like, well, looks like we're still in inches here. I was going to say centimeters. Either way, stands about 9.5 inches tall. So it looks like roughly they're about the same height. Looks like Deathstorm stands second tallest if you include the flames. About the same height as Batman. And Kyle Rayner stands a little bit shorter than Superman, and Superman is about the same height as the rest. So those figures stand roughly 7.75 inches tall. Yep, same. So that's about the standard height there. Cool. So now let's get into final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts on the Blackest Night Wave, the Atrocitus Build-A-Figure series. I think these figures are outstanding. So if you've decided to pass on these because of the imagery or looking at them in box and thinking they're not that cool, don't, because these figures out of the package are outstanding. One, they did lots of really good textures and details throughout all the characters. Even the figures I thought I would not like Kyle Rayner, like in the package, and even like some of the photo shots I didn't think looked good, but once I have them in hand, looks so good. And then being able to use all these figures to build Atrocitus is insane. So we lucked out here. We ended up getting this for 50% off for a Christmas sale. So we did take advantage of that sale, so really good deal. But overall, I'd say if you're deciding on if you want to pass on these or not, I'd say give them a shot. I think building Atrocitus is great, and these figures definitely exceeded my expectations. So thank you all so much. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll keep continuing to bring reviews, customizations, and other videos to you guys online. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will catch you next time.